Once upon a time, in the ancient land of Magadha, there lived a young prince named Siddhartha Gautama. Born into a life of grandeur within the jewel-studded walls of Kapilavastu's palace, Siddhartha was a prince destined for greatness. Yet, amid the opulence and luxurious indulgence, a profound restlessness stirred within him. Like a bird encased in a gilded cage, his spirit yearned for more than the confines of his royal existence could offer. His father, King Suddhodana, had carefully constructed an idyllic world for his son, a world devoid of suffering and pain. But the prince's heart was restless, his mind brimming with unanswered questions. One fateful night under a moonlit sky, Siddhartha, garbed in humble attire, slipped away from the palace. Leaving behind the trappings of royalty, he ventured into the world beyond the palace walls, a world unknown to him. This journey would become the catalyst for his transformation into the Buddha, the Enlightened One. Venturing into the nearby town, Siddhartha encountered the inevitable companions of life: old age, sickness, and death. In stark contrast to the lavish royal life he was accustomed to, these harsh realities of existence were initially overwhelming. He saw the wrinkles etched deep into the faces of the elderly, the pallor of the sick, and the lifeless eyes of the deceased. These scenes painted a stark portrait of human suffering, one that was both sobering and eye-opening. This journey outside the palace walls, though brief, had a profound impact on Siddhartha. Each encounter with the harsh realities of life chipped away at his sheltered perspective, revealing the universal truths that had been hidden beneath his life of privilege. The facade of his royal existence was shattered, replaced with a deep, unsettling awareness of suffering and impermanence. The realization struck Siddhartha like a lightning bolt, and he decided to abandon his life of privilege in search of answers to the fundamental questions that plagued his mind. Setting forth into the great unknown, Siddhartha exchanged his princely robes for the simple attire of an ascetic. He embarked on a journey of self-discovery, seeking answers to the profound mysteries of life and existence. Turning his back on comfort and luxury, Siddhartha sought guidance from renowned spiritual teachers. He immersed himself in meditation and self-mortification, pushing his physical and mental limits to the brink. For years, he lived on the edge of existence, wrestling with the fundamental questions that plagued his mind. His pursuit of enlightenment was relentless, his determination unwavering. Yet, the more he sought, the more elusive the answers seemed. Siddhartha's rigorous ascetic practices took a toll on his body and spirit. He was caught in a cycle of extreme self-denial that threatened to consume him. His body grew frail, his spirit waned, but his resolve remained unbroken. One day, weakened and emaciated, he collapsed beneath the Bodhi tree, a sacred fig tree that would witness the culmination of his quest for enlightenment. As Siddhartha sat in meditation, the earth bore witness to his struggle. Shadows of doubt and delusion danced around him, summoned by the demon Mara. This malevolent entity, the embodiment of desire and illusion, sought to ensnare Siddhartha in a tempest of distractions. Visions of worldly pleasures swirled around him, each one more tantalizing than the last, a siren's call to abandon his quest for enlightenment. But Siddhartha remained steadfast. His resolve, stronger than the most durable diamond, would not waver. He reached out, his hand touching the earth as if to draw strength from its ancient wisdom. This act, symbolic and powerful, was a call to the earth to witness his unwavering virtue, his countless lifetimes of perseverance and dedication. And the earth responded. It trembled, a shudder that rippled through the cosmos, shaking loose the illusions that Mara had woven. The earth trembled, and Mara's illusions dissipated like morning mist, leaving Siddhartha bathed in the radiant light of enlightenment. In that transformative moment beneath the Bodhi tree, Siddhartha became the Buddha, the awakened one. From the shadow of ignorance emerged an illuminating wisdom, a discovery that would later be shared with the world. This wisdom took shape as the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, forming the very foundation of Buddhism. The first noble truth is an acknowledgement, a realization that pain and suffering are inevitable aspects of life. It is an existential truth we cannot ignore. The second truth delves deeper, uncovering the root cause of suffering, our boundless desire and unhealthy attachments. It's these unending cravings that chain us to the cycle of rebirth, a cycle we strive to break. Yet there is light beyond the darkness. The third noble truth brings forth the promise of liberation from this suffering. It's a promise that signifies that by conquering our desires, by releasing our attachments, we can finally put out the flames of suffering. The route to this liberation, that's the purpose of the Eightfold Path. It serves as a roadmap, a guiding light leading us to wisdom, ethical behavior, and mental fortitude. It's a journey towards liberation, a journey towards enlightenment. The third noble truth proclaimed the possibility of liberation from suffering, revealing that it could be extinguished by overcoming craving. Having spent a lifetime spreading wisdom and compassion, the Buddha, at the ripe age of 80, knew his time on earth was coming to an end. But even in the face of death, his teachings never wavered. He continued to emphasize the impermanence of life, a constant reminder that everything that begins must also end. It was a lesson for his disciples, a lesson for us all, that change is the only constant in this world. As his final moment approached, the Buddha entered into a deep meditative state. His passing was serene, a peaceful transition into parinirvana, the ultimate liberation, marking the end of the cycle of birth and death. His disciples, though engulfed in grief, found solace in his teachings. They pledged to carry forward the wisdom of the Buddha, to keep the flame of enlightenment burning bright. In his final breath, the Buddha urged his disciples, and through them all of us, to work out your own salvation with diligence. A profound reminder that our journey towards enlightenment, towards liberation, is ours and ours alone to make.